Alright, so welcome back everybody. You're watching the Gigabyte Dota Masters on Try for Man. Casting with me is of course Gods from Absolute Legends, and tonight we have the Group B, Group of Death. Tiebreakers between MUFC, LGD and Orange Esports. Now right now though we have MUFC on the rating. They're up against LGD on the dire. LGD losing the flip, but MUFC decided they wanted to take first pick. And LGD decided, yeah, you know what, we'll take dire instead then. But here we go. The Brewmaster band straight away, Gods, along with that Chen.
Yeah, we'll see. I think MUFC. This is the great thing about these tiebreak matches for me is that they're actually a rematch of the group stage matches. So all these teams have already versed each other. So last time I believe LGD got both Brewmaster and Lycan, if I remember correctly. That was a game where MUFC won after being down 4 axes. So I think
this was the one I didn't get to see. This was the insane game I missed. I know Tong Fu got the Lycan Brewmaster and lost to Ice with it. I didn't know if MUFC or LGD got that as well.
I think it was Lycan Brew. Maybe it wasn't Lycan. They had a Brewmaster. I don't know if they had Lycan as well. I know they had Brewmaster, but in the end, it was a 4-axe comeback, so not at all surprised to see Brewmaster banned this time. And we'll see what. I think MUFC won to first pick that proper. They first picked it before.
I can hear the lady on the phone in the background again.
Let me turn it down.
Yep, just on that. But Enchantress and LGD getting rid of those nasty pushes, nasty healers. Of course, Enchantress, one of the heroes, can just jump out of the jungle so damn fast and start pushing away at your towers, especially if you throw up a weak lane against her. But we've also got the Darkseer band, of course. Darkseer been very popular as of late. Just a really strong suicide solo, and his Iron Shell is doing so much damage in those early team fights as well. Even those early ganks, very nasty hero all around, great utility hero. But now the first pick. MUFC, and they really wanted this first pick, and they decided, well, we're going to spend it on Windrunner.
Yeah, just go for the strong laning setup for the moment, and I mean they've left Invoker in the pool. Probably see LGD picking up that Invoker, but we'll see what else they want to get. As I think MUFC are okay with this trade, although they're not going to get their hands on any of those jungle heroes, the Chen or the Enchantress, which they do like to use.
Fair enough then. I can't remember, was it Myth or MUFC that really loved their Batrider too?
That's Mith.trust. They're Batrider ES, but MUFC. I mean, they're quite versatile with their picks in general. They like their strong lanes, but they're very versatile.
And LGD, they go for the Invoker along with Leshrac. All right then, so they've got some really powerful utility. And I mean, even if you open up with Leshrac, again, he's still pretty flexible. We see him used as both a semi-carry farmer as well as being used as a soft support. So you can still do a few things with that. You're not locked into any specific play. Of course, you're probably still going to get relatively aggressive just because Edict really gives you those options for just beating down on towers when left alone with them. So I'm not too surprised to see him picked up, just because he's been really, really popular in this tournament. And as of late, he really just fits the current metagame extremely well. But now the double pick for MUFC, what are they going to go with? About to go over into overtime, really thinking this one through at the moment. Now they might decide to pick up a good solo, or go with something we see often is, they'll go for a couple of supports. Sometimes they'll just pick up that solo hero, and then pick up the supports. Often we see the hard carries get saved for the second banning after the second banning phase.
I know they really like to pick up Enigma. That's a hero that Enigma as well as Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit is, I mean, every time I see them go for a support hero, VS is always their preferred one. They do get the ES as well as Enigma, so VS is an option for that second support hero. But the Enigma pickup there could be a side lane solo or could be in the jungle there, because Windrunner is also a likely candidate for that side lane solo. So it could be a jungle Enigma here, unless they want to send the Windrunner mid, as a few teams do like to do. But these picks here, I really like the Enigma. I'm going to give them some strong lane control.
Yeah, it will make them pretty tough to deal with. Now we've got this last pick though for LGD. What are they going to grab? Might want to pick. Well, they've already got a solo in the form of Invoker. Although then again, going back to Dota 1, I have seen Invocatrons really, really weird, but they did happen in the odd game that we casted back in Dota 1. So possible, but I have not seen anybody do it in Dota 2 as of yet. Lone Druid though, so a Chinese team finally with Lone Druid in their hands. Gods, do you think? Well, we assume we're going to see the really fast Radiance.
This has actually jogged my memory. It wasn't the Lycan Brewmaster. They had a Lone Druid plus Brewmaster last time these two teams battled each other. So LGD did have Lone Druid last time when they got that 4x advantage. And we'll see if they're going to get a big advantage early. Well, not so much early on. It's more a mid-game push that they like to do with this Lone Druid. It is one of those things. You like to get the fast Radiance and just go all out, push away. The Radiance basically just forces the other team, makes it really hard for them to engage. At the same time, they have to stop the push, and you just send that Spirit Bear in front, just right-clicking around the tower, and it's just so hard to deal with.
Yeah, very, very frustrating. We've also got Queen of Pain banned along with the Sand King. Queen of Pain has been getting picked up and played quite a bit as of late. People really fearing her huge AoE firepower. We even see like just pushing, just like just getting the Argonems and then just camping, like camping a lane outside the base, blinking in and out of the trees, and just every time the wave comes, it just hit it with an ult, kill it instantly, and then blink away. It's just probably the silliest thing I've seen, but it works. And also Lich actually getting finally last ban there. I know this is I think this is a weird ban. We haven't seen Lich banned, let alone picked in on the occasion we'll see the Lich anti-mage lane, but I have not seen Lich banned in a very long time, gods.
Yeah, that's a bit unusual for me. I think they just recognizing that LGD don't have too many support heroes, which I think that SK made a great ban there. We've seen a lot of SK Leshrac lanes as a dual lane or as a sort of dual support for some kind of semi-carry or carry hero. But the Lich ban is a bit unusual. Maybe they were expecting that anti-mage Lich combo as a potential thing that LGD would do, although not something when they've already got that lone druid they'd probably pick up. So now MUFC, due to their fourth pick, anti-mage has been banned. We're not going to see that as a carry hero coming out. We'll see just what exactly we want to pick here. Maybe just go with the other support option. And if Enigma's in the jungle, then they don't need any more support options. It's something I often cringe at just because it takes so long before that blink dagger gets up.
As people saying you're roboing it, I've just fixed that. So people should, if Gods is still robo after I finish talking, then yeah, then let me know again and I will run it through XSplit again. Of course, we just have to turn the sound on and off briefly, and it normally fixes everything. But yeah, I would be surprised if they went for the Lich anti-mage after the lone druid pick, just because it would really give them, like with the lone druid and the anti-mage, it would make some relatively weak lanes, and if there was a lot of aggression from MUFC, they would struggle just a bit. I think we saw it last night with Invasion Red. They went for the Weaver in their lineup, it just did not work at all, really weakened them a lot. But we've got the VS being picked up by LGD as well as the Slaughter. Now this is something we don't normally see all that frequently. Like the Chinese teams grab him every now and then, but Slaughter generally just hasn't been picked up that much. I don't know if they decide, well, they want to get that negative armor on the lone druid, maybe to help deal with his flat-out tankiness. I know the negative armor is a great way to amplify that damage, but he's got a nice stun, but as far as semi-carry potential goes, he's not huge on that.
He's a hero that a lot of the Chinese teams have been picking up absolutely almost every single game. They'll play him as a solo mid, they'll put him in a dual lane at mid. They just really love his initiation power. I mean, if he blinks in, hits a stun on 2 or 3 heroes, it's a 2.5 second stun and a fairly decent AoE. So in some ways, he's a lot like a Sand King with a bit more carry and DPS potential. And it's just a really strong hero to include in your lineup, as we'll see. Also a strong hero, the amp damage can really help shut down the lone druid as well. So we'll see what they want to do going into the mid to late game. If they want to out-carry the lone druid, they may have the potential to do so. And even against heroes like Invoker, it is pretty powerful. As there we go, support hero Crystal Main's the last pick, so it is going to be an Enigma solo. There
we go then. Oh, I like this. Yep, I like this bit, but at the same time, I don't know. If it goes late, and I suppose it really comes down to how fast this lone druid farms, because I don't think I've seen a game so far where the Chinese actually managed to get their hands on the lone druid and then farm super fast. But we'll see what they can crack out with him. If they get that really fast rating, so I don't know. I think Slato is going to struggle just a bit, just because every game we've seen him, so I don't think he's been really a huge deciding factor in the game. And I just don't know if they've got the push really to try and end it quickly either. They're just going to have to try and gain dominance through that, and then just try and maybe push as a group. But flat out, they're kind of lacking that big pushing power, I think, which might hinder them if they go towards the late game. I honestly don't feel, gods, that they can go toe-to-toe with the lone druid late game, as well if he's being backed up like with a semi-farm Leshrac, or even the Invoker. Invoker gets a bit of farm, he's also going to be pretty difficult to deal with.
For me, the issue is going to definitely be the Invoker here. Leshrac, I mean, does have a lot of magic damage outbursts, especially in the mid game, but come late game, the Invoker with just such a great toolbox of spells can be really deadly to the other team. I mean, I think Slaughter, it's all about that sort of mid and early late game stage. I mean, Lone Druid as well, he does not scale that well as the game goes into sort of 50, 60 minutes in. He can only do so much damage. His actual Spirit Bear becomes very squishy. It does have 2.7k HP, but against a Slaughter, they can just focus down that Spirit Bear with relative ease. So I think Slaughter late game isn't that scary. It's the Invoker Leshrac who will be in the late game doing as much damage and probably even more with all their spells than the Lone Druid. But the Radiant team as well don't have much late game. So this is going to be all about these mid-game clashes, which will be largely determined on the how they land and how the early game stage goes, who gets the first few towers in their favor, and as far as towers go, the Die team with a lot more pushing potential.
So the Crystal Maiden just reconnecting. I'm going to bring up the scoreboard so you can see exactly who's playing what there. Do MUC have a couple of stand-ins, or are we just having untagged people here?
I would say untag people. They're all tagged up for me now. It was initially they're all tagged up in game, but just on the scoreboard they haven't been updated. But if you look at their in-game names, you'll see that they're all updated.
Fair enough then. So no excuses with stand-ins tonight. We've got the full teams playing for both sides, and we'll see what they can do. Of course, guys, whoever loses in this tiebreaker. Well, this round of tiebreakers, they don't actually get knocked out of the tournament. They just go through in the losers bracket for the playoff stage. So it's not mission, like, it is obviously they want to try and win, because starting off with the second life is obviously fantastic, but it's not the end of the world if they do lose. So just throwing that out there quickly before anybody freaks out about their favourite team losing. But a 5-man sweep coming out from MUFC, going to sweep through into their own jungle. Just, I suppose they're hoping to run into the other team, maybe set something up. Or maybe they're actually, oh wait, they're going to probably have a tri-lane down here, so they'll be trying to set up those lane wards, and they just don't want to walk into an enemy tri-lane, or even an enemy big 5-man sweep running through here, setting up the blockers, the blocking wards, and other good things like that. Earthshake is here, but he hasn't thrown out the ward yet.
And LGD could be walking into trouble here. This Venomancer may get blocked off by the ES. Is he going to go for this fissure? Oh, no, he doesn't do so. His team had already backed off, so ES will back off. Needs to be a bit careful here. It looks like they're just going to poke at each other. We'll back off, and now MUFC do have the slight advantage bottom lane with that lane ward, and then we will see LGD looking to block this creep pull, I imagine.
And I like this aggressive lane coming from LGD. This gives them, well, not only is this a really dangerous lane to be up against at the same time, but it also means their supports are in the hard lane, which means it's very easy for them to gank mid. But then again, there is the downside. They are up against some really good long-range harassers, because I don't think they'll be able to do much. They've got the VS, and they've got a Venomancer. They don't have that much range, which I think may be a bit of an issue. See the Venomous Gale, they're not managed to land on the ES. But I don't think they can set anything up here, so they're probably going to, like, this is a bit of an issue. Like, they can't really set stuff up because the ES Fissure and the Crystal Maiden's range is just way greater than theirs. And yet they can't really leave the Leshrac alone. I think this may lock down their supports more than they'd like, and this may work against LGD.
And we can see, well, at the moment, LGD are doing a great job of protecting their Observer Ward. The CMES want to de-ward this. They've got the Sentry up, but LGD have much better level 1 DPS, as, I mean, the VS Venomancer. Sure, they've got the defensive fissure, but as far as DPS goes, VS and Venomancer are pretty scary. And this CM does not want to go in, especially when there's those Venomancer illusions. And I think top lane, I mean, Enigma versus Invoker, fairly even there. Enigma will be looking to use the conversion on the last hit, but the big problem here at bottom lane for MUFC is that the Sunstrikes are going to be coming in. If they land some Sunstrike is going to go, Slider's going to go down here. Invoker with a first blood on bottom lane. The chain stuns and a Sunstrike. That's a level 1 Sunstrike getting a first blood. That is just...
That's pretty good. And I mean, like, this was great from LG. The fact that they made Crystal Maiden and ES spend so long running around in circles trying to de-ward. Like, that's where they were just then, counter-warding instead of protecting Slaughter. So we didn't have that defensive we didn't have that defensive fissure. We didn't even have the Crystal over there to help him out. It was just 3v, well, even 4v1 when you throw the Sunstrike in there. And Slaughter this entire time has been going 1v1 against Leshrac. And Slaughter does not have good lane control, so Leshrac has been winning this quite handily. While we've had Crystal Maiden and ES buggering around in the jungle trying to play with wards, which hasn't been, well, as we can see, it's wound up giving away first blood.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just one of those things where, I mean, Enigma can sort of do fairly well in lane against Invoker, does have the deny, but Invoker's always going to be much more present all over the map, whereas whereas the Enigma is just kind of stuck in this lane, farming it up, maybe trading farm a bit with the Invoker, but Invoker, just those Sunstrikes all across the map can just set up, not so much set up kills, but secure the kills whenever there's those stuns being locked down, as here we go, bottom lane, DD on Venomancer, ESCM in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, there's a stun, the Magic Missile, Venomous Gale in second, Sunstrike as well, it wasn't even needed really. Leshrac following up with a good split earth, and it's just, once they get in there, as long as they can get within that range, they're going to get these kills, because they have so much firepower. The issue is if VS and, ES and CM can hold them off. But in that case, they came from behind, caught ES with his pants down, and there was nothing he could do, just got completely shut down by that. So as long as they can close the gap, they can get these kills up, but the difficulty will be managing to do that when ES is on the ball, dropping those fissures in their face.
Yeah, and it's actually alright that Invoker's getting those kills, because he gets gold and XP, and I mean, those heroes at bottom who get the assists, they're still getting a little bit of gold, a little bit of XP themselves, so it's just helping out this Invoker up against the Enigma at top, because he is already getting a lot of his XP denied by those Eidolons, by the conversion. So I help him out a lot. Mid lane we see Lone Druid up against Winner, and right now, Lone Druid with the two right clickers, both the Spirit Bear and himself, should be winning.
The Invoker is actually slightly out-leveling the Enigma at the moment, so it looks like he's not doing too bad. It's 12 and 5 for Enigma, 12 and 3 for the Invokers. They're pretty much
That's
par for the course.
because of those kills. It's because of those kills. Otherwise, he'd be behind on XP. But he gets XP
okay.
for the kills, even when it's on the other side of the map, which is why that Sunstrike is so powerful.
See another Sunstrike in. Crystal Maiden almost going down. Will the DOTs finish her off? Leshrac, though, not diving in there to finish things off. He's going to back up, and he's going to go for the kill on the Slardar. Much more valuable than going after the CM. Fantastic there from him. Just CM getting away, but she's burned through pretty much all of her... I mean, she's going to have to go home anyway eventually, or courier, like, even ferry out some pots or something, because, well, she can't sit here in that kind of lane with no health like this. Just get picked off so easily. Even a Sunstrike can finish her up right now. The courier, though, still unupgraded, is slowly making its way towards him, and this is wasting a lot of time for the Radiant team. Windrunner just bringing... I think there's Boots coming out towards her now. Yeah, Boots just being shuttled out now.
Regeneration.
Yeah, now right now it just feels like LGD winning all 3 lane domps. I mean, top lane is fairly even, but the fact is Invoker is 2-0 already, even on CS. Mid lane, Lone Druid with 22 CS, 11 deny, Windrunner only with 16 and 5 denies, and bottom lane, that's where the 3 kills have happened, and Leshrac, Arcane Boots up, 18 creeps. I mean, with those Arcane Boots, all 3 of those heroes, VS can just spam stuns. They can just chain those stuns whenever they like, and they've got the Arcane Boots to heal them back up. So it's going to be very hard for MUFC to do much in any of their lanes. And Enigma, it's not like Enigma can come help using this farm he's got at top. He has to stay top up against this Invoker, try and slow down his farm.
ES actually going to go for a kill here on the Leshrac. He will survive, salving up, although it wasn't necessary in the end, I don't think. He will walk away from this, just barely alive. Meanwhile, Enigma struggling. Well, he's actually doing pretty well holding off this Invoker, just pushing him back every single time. Every single time the Invoker moves in, Enigma is generally hammering him with the Eidolons, although he's just running back there, realizing if he gets hit by a cold snap, he's in some serious trouble. Just checking Invoker's skills. I mean, he's actually going ahead on the Quace. He's gone for 3 in Quace just to help, because he's been getting harassed really hard by this Eidolon, so he's decided, you know what, I need a bit of extra regen.
It's all about, he's just been harassed so much that he does want the extra regen. He's not going to buy any more Tangos or anything, so getting a few more points in class is fine here. And once he's get level 7, he'll have both Sunstrike as well as the Cold Snap, and that's when he can look to be really aggressive on Sharky in this top lane, as Leshrac TPing back bottom, and it looks like LGD want to make something happen now. They have got the vision into the jungle, much like their opponents do. Both have them, well, the Radiant team, MUFC, have the Observer Ward, but the Plague Ward gives just as good a vision as we'll see LGD. Just every time they sort of poke forward, MUFC are forced to back off and just give up farm against Slardar. I mean, only 11 creep kills is really struggling here.
Yeah, and in the mid lane, we've got the Lone Druid. He's sitting on 31 and 14. He is out-leveling the Windrunner. He's had some great bear control, actually. Really, oh, he's got the haste, so that's a free kill there. No way the ES is going to get away from this. He's going to throw down the Fissure, but he will just get locked in. Although, actually, Frostbite going to come in. Actually, he's going to try and suicide the creep. He does get taken out by the neutrals. So either way, he does die, and they pick up a kill anyway on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden arrive out here. The Slardar thrown in the crush. Sharky has come bottom with his Enigma. He has Black Hole up and running, but he's just waiting for them to push through, and then he'll go for the big 3-man Black Hole if he can get a split at this land. Doesn't hit anything. The bear getting stunned there along with the Silent Bear, and now Slardar sprinting in position, going to try and get off a Slithering Crush. Does he have enough mana? Yes, he does. Going to give chase, but oh, he's just so damn quick. He gets off the Crush, so slightly blocked by the bear for a second. Malefice as well, and that will be a dead Lone Druid. Unfortunately, resummoning the bear, or rather, recalling the bear, managing to block his path just slightly. Power Shot going to go through, clean up the Venomancer, and Leshrac going to back off here, the only one to survive there. Actually, VS got out somewhere.
Yeah, that was what MUFC needed. They brought all 5 heroes bottom to make sure they got a couple of kills there for that counter gank, but they killed some key heroes, specifically the Lone Druid. So Enigma coming, Windrunner walking, Enigma TPing, they're going to give some free farm to Invoker at top, but that's what they just have to give up. If they just stay static with their lanes, they're going to fall further and further behind. So they need to make something happen. TPing in for those ganks and kills was absolutely essential, and they need to just get back top, Enigma specifically, to just stop that push as soon as possible. Although right now, we will see Enigma just dallying a bit in the jungle, does have some treads up, probably going to TP top soon, as this Invoker, I mean, just 41 creep kills. He's going for a fast 4-star by the looks of things, and with that he's going to have some great mobility and great teamfight presence.
And this is what's fantastic about Lone Druid. In the mid game, he's going to have plenty of damage, plenty of attack speed just from Rabbit as well as the bear itself, and of course the Warcry as well, but he's also going to be really, really tanky, just thanks to his ultimate form plus synergy. It just gives him so much extra health. Like you see, he's on 1300 health now, leveling up his synergy yet again, and he's only got level 3, interestingly enough, only a level 3 bear at the moment. He's only level 7, I suppose. But yeah, he doesn't really need the extra at the 4th level bear just yet. can do with that. Although here comes a big gank from MUFC. They're going to come in behind LGD. There we go. Crystal Nova gets thrown down. The fissure block also going to pin down Leshrac. He throws down, I think this is Split Earth. Didn't get it off, whatever it was, as the Sunstrike doesn't land either. VS now on the run. It looks like she's going to get run down though. Here we go. Slithering Crush. Stack the stuns. No way she's getting away. Power shot as well for good measure. And that is exactly what they need to keep themselves in the lane. Meanwhile, though, Invoker is free farming on the top. He's got Venomance to back him up. They're just going to try and do a little bit of pushing. He's not going to...
And it was just another sort of 5-man roam bottom. I mean, MUFC get all 5 heroes bottom. They're bound to get some kills. If they don't get any kills, then they're really wasting their time. But both times they've got a couple of kills in their way. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's good to get those kills, but they are trading it off for Invoker free farming at top as well as the Lone Druid getting some free farm at mid. So it's not like you can't just look at that as 4 straight kills for MUFC. LGD are making sure they know they're going to. I mean, they're quite happy to give up those kills in exchange for the free farm on those heroes at both mid and top. So it's coming at a cost for MUFC, but it's better to do that than just stay with their losing lanes, as we will see Winner actually taking over the top lane to prevent this Venomancer and Invoker from pushing in too much.
Another port down bottom. Looks like we might have a clash. The Fisher goes down, does block off the Invoker who was porting in. They've got the tower getting taken out though. Lone Druid though trades immediately for the mid tower. Perfectly fine there. As we see the Roots actually do get proc there on the Enigma. He's going to try and take out the Spirit Bear. If he gets another lucky bash actually, that would be enough to probably kill him. No, ports, resummons actually. Not a port back and not a recall. See, Venomancer's struggling a little bit of mana. Needs to hang around Leshrac for a moment, get those boots up and running from it though. Leshrac has actually already popped them. I think they're going to come down here, probably try and push this. At the moment, Windrunner is catching up a bit of farm at top, but they may lose this bottom tower if nobody comes down to here to help defend. Although Leshrac at the moment is still a little squishy. He has only picked up his Arcane Boots and his Magic Stick. Isn't really all that tanky just yet, so they will need to watch out. Because, I mean, they've got the stuns, they've got some pretty nasty nukes. They could indeed clean him up if they just focus fire him down, especially with the range on stuff like Power Shot as well. Slardar is here, along with ES, but they're not going to be able to move in without some extra backup. We've got Blue moving, Windrunner is going to arrive. They're going to try it. No, they're not even going to have a chance to get the deny there. It does get taken out, so there we go. LGD picking up another early tower kill. This gives him a ton of extra early money. At the same time, Lone Druid's still pushing the top lane. I mean, he's probably going to get this pretty soon.
I think LGD are happy just to have those 4 heroes committing to bottom, while they're just giving this Lone Druid space to farm. He has pretty much free farm at mid, then free farm at top. He's got the tier 1 mid tower. He probably won't be able to get this top tower. There will be some heroes coming in to defend it, especially now that LGD no longer pressuring the bottom tier 1 tower. Well, they've taken the tier 1 tower bottom. They're no longer pressuring any lanes, but Lone Druid being at top, he can easily just go into those neutrals and farm if he feels he's in danger. But right now, he's actually going to try and get that tower with his bear. It's going to be up to Sharky to try and stop it. The tower is deniable. As Lone Druid will hit it one. Black Hole being used. He really does not want the Lone Druid to get the tower. TP coming in. It is going to be a Crystal Main, but Lone Druid gets the tower, and he's pretty damn tanky, although it looks like there's going to be just enough damage to get the kill. He got the tower, though, so, I mean, he lost maybe, like, well, I think he probably gains about 100 or 200 gold, but he does waste time. Stuns on the Windrunner now. Does take it, I think maybe just dodged that Sunstrike, and it looks like a nice Shackle Shot will help TFG escape that gank there.
Yeah, they see the pings come out saying, get the hell out of here. And yeah, like, even if it wasn't just for himself, but it gives his teammates so much extra gold as well, as opposed to having that deny. Overall, I do think it was worth trading that. It's not like Lone Druid was like struggling and so far behind, couldn't afford to sacrifice that gold. So it was quite okay for him to trade that hero kill in return for giving his teammates a ton of gold. Of course, spreading extra gold to VS and Venomancer, 2 heroes who really, like, they're money starved at the moment. They really, really want that cash. So in the end, definitely a viable trade for that Lone Druid. And you see there, the gold char's already jumped all the way down there. Wow. Doesn't manage to land the Sunstrike though, doesn't quite manage to hit. I think the AoE is probably slightly smaller than the animation from what I can see, because that looked like it hit him, to be honest. As you see that Cold Snap, so much damage, just a third, half his health from the Cold Snap and a couple of creep attacks. That's ridiculous. Do not want to get caught near creep with that Cold Snap I'm running. As Enigma actually gets a kill on mid, we missed that there. Venomancer getting picked off. Does Enigma? No, it looks like he just got picked up for the range. I think Crystal Maiden probably set that up. She's pretty low on mana, having spammed all of her nukes right now. And Invoker just going to back up just a little bit. He's gone for the early 4 stuff, which is pretty stock standard, and gets that up and running. Makes him very, very survivable.
Especially when you go for this Quas Exhaust build, you don't have the movement speed from Wex, so you need some more additional escape mechanisms apart from just relying on movement speed. And now MUFC going to try pressure this mid tower. They've got 4 heroes here, but LGD do not want to give up too many more towers. That's how MUFC can claw their way back in this game and maybe be able to deal with this Lone Druid who's going to get that Radiance up around probably the 16-minute mark here. That death will slow him down. Oh, well, a couple deaths will slow him down. It's one of those things, like, I mean, you go back to that. I mean, it's one of those things where the tower, it's worth it, but it's always one of those things, it's worth it, but it's still your carry hero. And having your carry hero die for a tower, it's kind of like, he could have maybe got that a bit later or just gone and farmed up. But in the end, Lone Druid still 3.2k gold, getting very close to that relic. And LGD maybe going to just probably just sit back and wait for that. They don't even have to put on too much pressure. He's just going to be pretty safe here farming in the jungle.
Yeah, well, that's some of the mistakes we saw yesterday. It was just teams who were pressuring too much when they didn't really have to. And in this case, LGD, you're completely right. They can just pull back, go, you know what, let's just get Lone Druid, get himself sorted out, get his early game items. Because, I mean, if they get aggressive now, and they try and start causing fights, and they lose him, it's just going to make him fall so far behind. It's just not worth it. It's just in case, like, it could pay off. They do have a team that could fight, but they're just a risk, I think, is not worth it. And pulling back is definitely a wise choice. It looks like inv-red going to be just farming away in here. He's going to pick up his drums pretty soon. He's only a couple of 100 gold away from them. Already got him hitting that 4-step. It's going to make him very quick. I don't think anybody's going to, except Slater is going to be able to run him down once he switches to Wex. Even Lone Druid is going to be extremely difficult for anybody except Slater to catch as well. His bear is, I think, healing at the moment. I've lost track of it. I don't know where it's... Oh, actually, it might be... There we go. It's going to go and grab the relic, actually. Just picks the relic and then heads back to him. Or not. Or not. I'm not sure if he misclicked that. Oh, he doesn't actually have enough cash for the relic. Never mind. I'm not sure what the bear was doing then. Over there by the shop for no good reason.
Just casually going for a stroll. And might go back, might go looking for that relic. He's got the 3.8k gold. He'll go buy that relic now. As we will see Winrunner trying to farm up her force up in the top lane, just a couple hundred away. And Smoke Gank on the bottom lane. LGD looking for this Slater, and that they will get.
And there's the stun. He's pop sprint as well. Sunstrike with sprint on. That is incredibly painful. Unfortunately, Slater, make yourself super quick, but once you get pinned down with that sprint on, and I don't think he's even got any defensive, but yeah, he's got no health boosters or bar a magic wand. You put turn sprint on and then get hit by a bunch of nukes. There's no way you're getting out of that alive, sadly. But that's Slater. Now we've got Enigma. He's picked up a blink. Black Hole is up. He could set something up here. I don't know if LGD know that he has a blink. He only picked it up about a minute ago or so. They probably don't realise this just yet, and they are definitely vulnerable to getting jumped here. Although they do have the VS. This is nice. The fact that they've got the VS, as long as VS stays out of the fights during the mid-game, they can always make sure they won't have a huge black hole dropped on them. So it just needs to be careful. Stay out of the fights, have that swap up and running, and looks like they're just going to go for Roshan at the moment. Now, the Radiant may have seen that. They've got a ward up. It doesn't give the best vision, though, for that pit, but they did see a lot of heroes head in that direction. They may think something sus is up, or not. They could just jungle a bit. I think Windrunner might just drop Power Shot to double check. Yeah, there we go. Dropping the Power Shot to find out, and there we go. They know what's happening now, but I don't think they can get in there to stop it quickly enough. That Roshan is dying really quickly. They're going to move in now. Roshan down about a tenth of his health. The Split Earth gets thrown down, trying to drive them back. They get the Roshan kill. They've picked up the Aegis. It's on Lone Drill. Power Shot going to go through. Nice Shackle as well. Fissure, Crystal Nova, a Frostbite as well on the Lone Drill. Going to try and pick off big black hole, catching all four heroes there. Everybody except Venomancer. ES is down. They've lost Crystal Man as well. And now we've also had Enigma taken out, all for a VS trade. Sadly, not enough AoE damage being stacked on top of that black hole. And they might even get...
They did not have the firepower. I mean, ES got picked up early. I mean, ES alone is only level 5 as well. And all these MUFC heroes just going in a bit blind there. They got punished for trying to stop that Roshan. We're trying to TP out here. There's a cold snap. Invoker gets a kill. And now Lone Druid, 800 gold. Going to have that Radiance up very, very soon. And as LGD may try to get this tier 2 bottom tower, MUFC back, they probably can defend it. And I mean, LGD just knowing that they had a pretty safe chance at Roshan there, and they took it and then found themselves with a good team fight as well. So they got two great things there, both Aegis as well as the team fight.
Chris made in the middle of that, sadly did not... She hasn't skilled her ult, which is pretty standard, just leaving that till later, because it's a pretty situational skill, but in that case, she's just would have been wishing she had it, because she could have caused so much damage with a black hole plus her freezing fields there. But no, she's got a standard build, so she won't have that till about level 10, maybe level 11. Although, I don't know, that might even prompt just thinking, wow, well if we can get another big black hole like that again, I could cause a massive amount of carnage. But I'm thinking she'll probably stick to the standard build, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily, I mean, maybe just throw a point in around level 8. I mean, with those black holes, it's one of those things where those Sim ulti at just level 1, it does some decent damage, so we'll see what Sim wants to go for here. But yeah, definitely a point or two in ulti could help here. As 4-star finished on Windrunner, and now Lone Druid just backing off, farming up as safely as possible, taking out those Ancients, and just 100 gold away from that Radiance. And with that, LGD probably just going to sort of systematically take down towers one by one. They'll try to get up the mech and pipe. They've got the mech on the Venomancer. They've got no pipe coming by the looks of things. Invoker with the drums, and Leshrac finishing off his Bloodstone as soon as possible. Just 800 gold away from that if he splits up his Arcane Boots.
I see some people, laughing at Invoker's tornado, saying he's terrible for it, but you've got to realise Invoker's doing the Exhort Quace build, which means his Wex is level 1, so his Tornado is going to be short-ranged. He's got the tornado, like the 1 point Wex, just so he has access to Deafening Blast and other skills. It's more of a just, you know, a utility thing, and it's the only spell he had available, having already dropped all these other spells. So, you know, why not? Why not? It was a shot. It was a shot in the dark, and then they got that kill anyway, so it wasn't a bad thing. Venomancer, though, has picked up the mech for his team. Are they grabbing a pipe anywhere? There's a fair bit of magic damage. They could afford picking up one if they want. We see the Shrek has picked up his soul boost. He's picked up his vitality boost and his point boost. I'm kind of expecting him to split his boots off. Oh, it was ES going to get picked off there. I could not do a thing, just getting locked down by that cold snap. Radiance up on that bear, though, going to burn away this creep. But yeah, I'm expecting Leshrac to break down his arcane boots and turn it into a soul booster relatively soon. As soon as he's ready to finish off that bloodstone, something pretty common we see. And often they transition into either just basic boots, or they try and pick up phases if they're feeling cheap, or even do we see, oh, there's a swap out on the Windrunner. She gets pinned down by the stuns, gets nuked into oblivion. We see the Midnight Pulse getting thrown in as well, but yeah, even travels if Leshrac can afford it later. It's a pretty common thing for them to go with, and it looks like they're just ready to put on a lot of aggression. I mean, it's 90 minutes. I don't really think the Radiant can deal with this Radiance at the moment. It's just going to cause way too much damage in these fights. I mean, it's really ES is level 5.
And at the same time, it's like LGD, they don't just have to pressure Raxus, they can just swing top. It looks like they're going to swing top, try to take this tier 2 tower now, but they're just going to force MUFC to give up tower after tower, or if MUFC really want to engage, they're going to have to hit an amazing blink black hole. They haven't got a blink dagger on Sada yet, so they're not going to have any initiation apart from this Enigma, or maybe from the winner if he hits a nice shackle shot, but even then, you're only taking out 2 heroes. There's still plenty of utility left all around for LGD. They've got the mech up as well to make them pretty tanky, and they're going to pop a smoke from this top lane. It looks like they are just going to be swinging towards mid, maybe trying to defend this tier 1 tower.
I'm just trying to figure out where the bear... no, that's not the bear. Where the hell... I know, I'm trying to figure out where the hell the Spirit Bear went. Oh, okay, it's at the bottom.
It's just pushing out this bottom lane.
There we go. And there we go. The gank going to come in mid. The stun goes down and Winner. The magic missile. Vision, though, going to try and cover her escape. She does get chain stunned by that Split Earth. Going to go down to a Deafening Blast and a couple of auto attacks there. Trying to force staff away Freak. Didn't quite manage it. And a Frostbite there on Leshrac. He's just going to be stuck fighting creep. And meanwhile, was that Spirit Bear still pushing? What if they bring it back to mid? Yeah, he has recalled it to mid. There it is. Going to burn away at them, and yep, they're just going to go, you know what, we picked up a hero, let's keep pressuring this mid tower, keep stacking. I mean, even if they don't go for the full racks, just keep stacking damage on this tower, because they've got the other lanes pushing as well. The Creeper going to push top, Creeper pushing bottom as well. They've had to actually, Slardar is busy defending the bottom lane, so they've got plenty of time just to stack some damage on this tower. And Alacrity on the Bear, just going to chew through this tower. They might even get this. That Spirit Bear is doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Crystal Maiden having to be very careful. She gets picked off there. We saw a good swap from VS earlier, and her ult is up. She could try and pick somebody off here. She's skull kick the back. I think she's wary. Enigma is up with a black hole. This is why she's hanging back. It's smart moves there from the VS, making sure her teammates cannot be all wiped out by a huge black hole. As that Rax is going to get taken out. 21-minute Rax. So LGD going to say,
and
you know what?
The Spirit Bear, it's even using the Alacrity on it to give it more damage and attack speed being invoked. It's all about just the Spirit Bear right-clicking away towers, and they haven't got enough damage to kill it at this point in the game. If they were pushing another 10 minutes later, by then the Radiant Team MUFC might be able to just focus down the Spirit Bear, especially with an amp damage. It does become quite squishy, but at this point in the game, they're under-leveled, under-farmed, and just do not have the firepower they need. As now LGD, they've got a mid-rack, 21 minutes in, they're going to swing to top as well, just look to keep the pressure on.
So you know, gods, that Chinese, turtle game we keep hearing about, I'm not seeing it. Just about every game we cast, except for IG, they're still very cautious, if we're going to put it nicely, very, very cautious in the gameplay. But they're on their they were on their last legs the last couple of games we casted, so it's kind of they had to. Not much choice there.
Yeah.
But yeah, LGD, 21 Minirax being super aggressive with a Sylar Bearer as well, just like you said, right-click everything, right-click their way to victory with that Spirit Bear doing so much damage, just completely demolishing buildings. It is level 4 now, so it's got that demolished ability on it as well. I'm just trying to check, where is his bear? There it is. It's hitting for about 130 at the moment.
Yeah, and with the Alacrity, it'll hit even harder. In UFC, I mean, they're defending now. The problem is they probably maybe just should look for an engagement there, because the Lone Druid was not at the fight. He's now going to make his way into the fight, although I had a feeling they didn't actually know that was the case, and they're looking for a chance to go in. They've got both Blink and Neck on the Enigma. The problem is those Plague Wards they're basically Observer Wards. They give the same vision at night time, so pretty much LGD will have great vision of anything coming in here, as Enigma really looking hard for something.
Yeah, Enigma's going to have to, Enigma definitely can't be the first in. Even if they didn't have that vision, he can't be the first in, just because if he's the first in, VS is going to get him every time. We see LGD, they're holding the VS back most of the time. Although, then I say that, she moves straight in, throws down the swap, they're going to pick off the Crystal Maiden, so being very ballsy there. because she is basically their fail-safe mechanism against that big black hole from the Enigma. But that's what they were doing during that last push on mid. VS was sitting all the way back, making sure if they got jumped, she was there ready to save her team. So even if they didn't have that that vision, it would still be very difficult for him to get off the huge ults. It looks like he is just going to hide here in the tree. Like, he's hiding here in the trees, trying to cut down any chance of them spotting him. But again, VS holding back, making sure she's not grouped up with the other team. They're going to need some simultaneous, like either fissure her or something, or at least take her out. As there we go. Again, they're just going to move in with that Spirit Bear, just moving it up. It's got the Alacrity. Oh no, that's the Warcry on it at the moment. My god, that adds a lot of damage.
With Warcry, Alacrity, and the Vlads, it's hitting for about over 200 damage. It was at to plus 150. There we go, plus 151.
Oh my god.
And now they're going to get another Rax. They'll get the ranged Rax as well by the looks of things. Lone Druid getting a bit low, but he's still got the Aegis. And MUFC, they haven't even found a chance to engage. They lose the Rax without even engaging. And they're just going to call GG, because at this point, there's nothing they can do.
And gods, I mean, you said, you've got to see the Spirit Bear. I said I want to see the Spirit Bear for myself. Why are people so scared of this thing? Well, now I damn well know, don't I? This is...
Yeah.
The amount of carnage this thing can unleash once it gets that rage, and especially with a team like this to back it up, it's doing so much. It's ridiculous. Just cannot stop the Sylar Bear. 24 minutes, so yeah, and I mean, also, we should discuss the fact that there is a second, like, if the tiebreaker needs to be tie-broken, because it is possible with a three-way tiebreaker, it is possible for teams to win one, lose one each. It is a time situation where the fastest win will be, like, the fastest wins will go through, whereas well, basically, in this case, it'll be the team with the slowest victory will have to sit it out in third place and go through in the losers bracket. So, gods don't, I mean, I raised a few eyebrows when I first heard that. I was like, what? This sounds weird. I've never heard of this in Dota, but you tell me, this is something that's not unusual. It does happen every now and then.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you have a three-way tie between teams, you can't look at their head-to-head clashes because it's sort of a rock paper scissors where one team beats another, and so on. And you have to find some way to differentiate them. You can look at their kills and deaths, but for me, it's one of those things where in Dota, I mean, kills and deaths don't always mean that much. The same thing with time. Time doesn't mean so much. That's why we're doing tiebreak matches before we look at the time rating. But I mean, basically, it should just come down to pure wins and losses. But you need some way to differentiate teams and have a first, second, and third place. So
because otherwise we can have perpetual time. Like we could literally, there is the potential to be stuck
to the end of days.
Yeah, until somebody gets bored and says screw it. How about I just give up now? But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Of course, this was the first match, and because that was so freaking quick, we actually have a good 25 minutes or so, 25 to 30 minutes before the next match is supposed to start. So stick around or bugger off, whatever you want. But